honey, we got to talk about Carlos King and Love and Marriage Huntsville, girl. It's been a lot of talk about Love and Marriage Huntsville. Love and Marriage Huntsville that comes on the OWN network on Saturdays has been on fire. But they just wrapped up the entire season with their part 3 reunion. Now, a lot of people felt like part 3 was dry. I still felt like part 3 was good, even though there were still a lot of things that were not discussed or talked about during the reunion. So we probably could have stood for either another part 4, or he could have added more of the juicier stuff or more of the things that we wanted to know that was not talked about in that final part 3 reunion. Yeah, so it's been a lot of talk, right? So a lot of things been going on with Love and Marriage Huntsville. What did we have? We had Miss Ariane, Martell Holt's baby mama, come out, and she gave her 2 cents regarding being with the guys and actually being with Martell, even though Maurice sat up there and lied, talking about something he ain't never meet. Well, I think he said that he wasn't. First, he said he never been around her, right? Then he came back around and tried to say that he never witnessed a connection between them. But then his good brother, because the Scotts clearly ain't loyal to nobody, child, including each other. Marceau decided to go ahead and put it up on his page that, yeah, you work there. Okay, so then it led to Miss Ariane coming out and saying some things, checking people, talking about how she was around both of them when they were seeing other women outside of the main women they were with, their wives or whatever they had going on. So that drama dropped out the sky. Miss Wanda came out, girl, and Miss Wanda gave Miss Ariane a run for her money and told her to close her mouth and her legs. Girl. That's what Miss Wanda said. Miss Wanda said, close your mouth and your legs, Miss Ariane. Okay, if you got some information on my daughter, Miss Tisha, then you need to go ahead and drop all of that information and stop talking about it. Miss Wanda says she wants you to be about it. Don't talk about it, right? And then shortly after that, when part 3 reunion came out, the big conversation was Miss Van. That's Vanessa's mom. I'm sorry, Melody Holt's mom, Miss Vanessa. Question was whether or not she was out here smashing one of the one of the Scott brothers. Was she out there, doing some things, okay? Some strange. And she said, no, she was not. She's adamant that it was not a relationship, although Marceau believes that it was. Martell believes that it was. And a lot of people believe that it was, okay? But I'm going to stand by Miss Vanessa. Miss Vanessa say it wasn't that. But I will say this, though, Miss Vanessa. I know a lot of older people, they be calling these men as they be dating their little friend. Okay, now, and that's all right too, because you're a single woman and you can do whatever it is that you really want to do. Okay, so once that happened, it led to the Scott brother Mark coming out and kind of denying things that he had said or did in the past. He said it was never a relationship, all of that stuff. So he came out and gave his piece. So with that, I kind of felt the way because I feel like it was all a lie. But anyway, getting to the main conversation of what's been happening around Love and Marriage Huntsville with Miss Ariane, like going live more often. She created a YouTube page. She said that she wasn't going to air out on Marceau when she could have. She said she was going to do it on the YouTube page, which she has yet to do. Okay, so there's that. She's talking about changing her image and stuff. And I feel like now that I think about this, and we had to talk about this on the Ooh Ladies First panel over there on Bonnie's channel. So if y'all want to hear more about the conversation that we had with Love and Marriage Huntsville, definitely go over and check out Bonnie's channel. But we were talking about the fact that Carlos was trying to help Martell kind of clean up his image based on how OWN sees their network, where they're not really with the messy mess, right? They're with the drama, but not the messy mess, right? So the conversation has been coming up about Ariane coming back to the show. I mean, coming on the show for the first time, not coming back, coming on to the show for the first time. I have not been sold on it. I've been like, girl, no, that's the negative. I don't want to see you. Like, no, we don't want to keep rehashing this, right? Well, now for me, I feel like Bondi, Nisi, when we had this conversation yesterday, I feel like it makes even more sense why Miss Ariane has been saying, oh, I want to, rebrand. I'm focused on rebranding. I'm focused on rebranding. And I'm connecting that to what you guys said about Carlos and him trying to get Martell to clean it up in case he's able to bring, Ariane into the fold. So I'm like, is that why she's trying to clean up her brand or whatever like that? Now, granted, it could be a personal situation. Maybe that's something she just wants to do. But then also it made me think about like, yo, is you doing that to come on the show? Because she also said that she's been talking to networks or whatever. At least this is what the stories were, coming out, that she had been talking to like other networks or something, which I don't necessarily believe, because as I said on last night, Your claim to fame is Martell Holt, who's already tied to a contract with OWN and Carlos. I'm sure he's not going to be able to go out and do filming somewhere else. So are you in the works of possibly being on the show? You know what I'm saying? Coming onto the show, is that what you're working on? But let me tell y'all this. Carlos got a chance to have a sit down with the ladies over at the Jasmine brand, and he was asked about her coming onto the show. So I'm gonna go ahead and play that, and then we'll talk about it afterwards. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's play that.
Yeah, so I don't know if you can. So let's talk about this other woman. There's been mention of her plenty of times, and we know there's a baby. He has a boy, so congratulations to them. Is there any plans of this other woman revealing herself in the show? Because I kind of want to, I feel like, and it depends on her personality, but I feel like she should have some time to at least, defend herself or, explain or have her say. Has there been any talks?
Listen, one thing about Love and Marriage Huntsville and the shows that I produce, I follow the reality, right? I follow what my cast members are willing to give. I'm not the type of producer who goes behind my cast members' back and reveals somebody that they had no idea was going to appear. I don't operate that way. No shade to those who do. That's just not my blueprint. So my answer to that is it would have to be something that the collective would want to do, and then it's a conversation, for example, Maurice, ex-wife Kaiwa, there was a conversation about her being on the show, several conversations about that. And to Kaiwa's credit, she agreed to do it because she wanted to share her side of the story. And Maurice wanted it to happen. And then Kimmy wanted it to happen. So that's the way that I operate. It has to be the collective agreeing to it because I'm not here to disrespect anybody.
All right, y'all heard what he said. He says that the collective has to agree on this in order for Miss Ariane to be a part of this show. I don't think that's going to happen, number one, because as a collective, everybody's not going to agree to that. Number two, should this happen, if it was like a collective, right, and there was a vote, and then some people were overruled because you had more people that said yes versus no, I got to know who said yeah. Okay, I would have to know who said yeah. I would like to know who's being messy, okay? Messy Kim Boots. I would have to know, okay? For sure. I don't think Mel is going to allow that to happen, but when he says collective, that's what makes it a bit questionable for me. What do you mean? Do you need a yes from every single person? Or would you need, just like a majority vote type thing? But he also says that he's not in the business of bringing somebody on the show and that person didn't know anything about it, right? So he's not going to do any pop-ups or surprises on Melody at all. So I'm not really mad at that at all. Let me see what, hold on, let me find it real quick. Thank you, Nerlene, for the super chat. I personally don't need to see her on the show. Why are we rewarding someone who displays bad behavior? I'm with you, Nerlene. I don't want to see her. I don't care to see her on the TV, but I will say this in her defense in a little bit. When the lady mentioned that she should be able to speak her piece. I mean, they do bring her up on the show, so she should be allowed to at least come on and say her piece, even if it is in a limited scene, probably with just Martell. Like, I don't know, like she could come on as a snippet, you know what I'm saying? But I see your point. Like, I mean, I don't really care to really see her, but I understand that part of things. Yeah. And as far as the bad behavior, why are we rewarding people with their bad behavior? I feel like we constantly rewarding Martell. I understand that he the one that created the, he was with Mel when the whole creation of the show came down, but he's sitting up here getting rewarded for his bad behavior, stepping out on his family, disrespecting the wife of his kids, resulting in him getting a divorce. But he out here, you know what I'm saying? He out here making money. But I feel you though, Nerlene. Don't get it twisted, girl. We here, we see each other, but just being, reasonable. She been threatening to say what? She been threatening to say her piece for years. Miss Thing was extremely disrespectful to Mel, and because of that, I'm glad you said something about being threatening to say her piece for years. Because of that is a reason why I also think they won't get a collective vote, and that's why I would need to know if that was how it went. Who all agreed to this? Because if you have information on Marcel not gonna agree to let you on this. If you finna disrupt what Maurice and Kimmy got going on, Kimmy damn sure not gonna go for this. Number one, because she has loyalty and respect for Mel. She don't like to be called a side chick herself. Okay, she don't like people running with that narrative. So I'm sure not gonna say yeah and then allow you to come on the play. I don't see that. And then Maurice not gonna let you air him out at all. So they probably feel like, girl, the drama we got going on right now is enough. Okay, I know Kimmy is like, girl, I have enough issues with Miss Wanda and with Tisha. We do not need to have nothing extra. So because of that, I don't see her coming on the show, y'all. Not at this time. Not at this time. Oprah sent Mel a personal gift. It's not going to happen. So there's that. No need for her to be on this show. There are children to consider. Her child is an infant, and Mel's children are in school and have to deal with this on social media. This will pass. No glory needed. And there's that, child. He gets rewarded because of his ex-wife's hard work and savvy business practices. So there's that. And he was gonna get awarded anyway because he brought the show to the platform. He and Mel pitched this to Carlos. So yeah, that's true. He was gonna get that anyway though. So that's enough people we have get rewarded at this time. She knew he was married and continued to sleep with him and was content with being a side chick. The sad part is that he also knew he was married and continued to sleep with that lady and was content on keeping her as a side chick. Girl, Misty, I believe she did know that he was married because I was on her live last night, I think it was. And she mentioned that she used to tell him, like, at first she wasn't for him, like, leaving Mel. She would say, like, now you need to go home, like, go home, go be with your wife, go be with your family, like, go home, go home, go home. And then she said after a while, when she realized that he wasn't really going to stop messing with her, that's when she was like, okay, you're going to have to leave her. You're going to have to leave Miss Girl. So that's what she said. She also mentioned that she wished that she could get some year in her 20s back. Because that's when all of this started with Martell. And I'll be honest, Miss Ariane, I think you should have said you wish you would have got your 30s back, because 20s don't mean a damn thing. If you like, what, 31, and you decided up here and continued to engaged in this activity with this man and then went forward to have a child by him. So you sure you want to get your 20s back? I guess, girl. You should get all your years back. But it is what it is, because your child, he is so freaking cute. I will say that. People get rewarded all the time for bad behavior. Look at Jocelyn and Tommy. Good nights with Jocelyn's Cabaret coming back next January that I will be watching. You're true. You're right. What exactly is there for her to say though? Great point, because it's like when she's on her lives, she tries to say that there's a lot that we don't know about their marriage. And for me, I don't care. What do you want us to know? I feel like for me, all I needed to know was that he was married and they have children together. They had a whole lifestyle built together. So I mean, I don't really know what you can really tell me, like, oh, well, she was acting like this and she said that. For me, I just feel like there's really nothing that you could tell me. But I mean, if they want to bring her on, I mean, that's on them. I'm gonna watch it either way, whether she on there or not. I'm gonna be tuned in. Okay, but I don't really know what is she gonna say? What's she gonna give? I don't know. She's been threatening to say her piece for years. I think I read that one. They rewarded Martell. Stop using her as everybody's storyline. Hopefully they can move into that space next season. We'll see how that's gonna go. The wives are going to say, oh no, and the husbands need to be worried what she's going to say next. Agreed, which is why I don't think they're going to get a unanimous absolutely yes. Please add her. We would love to hear her piece. Bring her on. This is exactly what America wanted. But I did understand the lady that did the interview with Carlos that felt like, you know, she should. I mean, if y'all gonna keep bringing her up, then yeah, let her say her thing. Girl, I guess maybe do a special. I don't know. Special sit down. I mean, I don't know, do an IG interview. I'm not sure what they may want. But as far as her being on the show, like as a cast, nah, fam. Mel do not need her own show to be profitable. What? Oh, okay. I think I see what you're saying. I don't even think Tisha would say, nah, you know, Tisha ain't going for that. But I don't, but again, you never know people. You never know. We would be surprised, which, especially the way she was coming at Miss Mill Girl. But we would be surprised. That's why for me, if they said yes, I need to know who said yeah. Who agreed to this? I believe the disrespectful way she spoke to Mill was a direct result of Martell. I've known a few women that have messed with married men, and honey, they would never. Like, of course, Martell gave her passes for that. And I think the other reason why I'm not interested, honestly, in fully hearing her side, because when she tells us that it's a lot of things that we don't know about their marriage, she tells it, in my opinion, in a way as though she was actively involved in that marriage. Like Mel and Martell included her in that. No, that was just Martell. And for me, it makes me feel like a lot of the details that you may share with us is coming from Martell. And that's the things that Martell wanted you to know, right? Guys do that all the time. Especially dudes that cheat. They love to get up with the other girl and then be talking about what their main girl do. But then if you're the other girl, you should be sitting back questioning that, because he's spending most of his time but talking about her. Like, that right there should show you where his heart at anyway. But that's why I'm not really interested in hearing her piece. You know what I'm saying? You know, I mean, unless she's gonna come off remorseful or something like that. Like, I mean, I don't know. She probably feel like, girl, I'm already remorseful. What's done is done. How much sorry y'all want me to be? Like, it is what it is. But I also want her to know that, like, you're not the only person getting this flack or whatever. You're not the only person. People aren't just coming down on you. So don't feel like, okay, everybody coming at me, everybody hate me, girl. Martell get it the same way. Okay, that was a shared situation. So y'all get shared heat. If she wanted people to be interested in her, on the show, she should have stayed anonymous. I don't know, because I feel like that was gonna come out either way it go. I feel like people went searching for her, and I don't even think Ariane said nothing until other people started. She was quiet, from what I can recall. She was quiet. I found out about her photo and who she was from other blogs, like people searching and finding her and piecing it together and dropping tea and all this. Like, that's what it was. It wasn't like it was her, like, hey, girl, it's me. I cheated with her man. I did. Or like, it wasn't her doing that. It was so much as other people telling her stuff for her. And I think that's probably why she decided to like come out and start talking, because other people were starting to create narratives for her. But at the same time, when you talk, once again, I have to go back to when you talk about the marriage and you try to say that there were things that was happening that we don't know. Number one, you're not giving us nothing to go off of. That's number one. And number two, you're speaking as though it was a marriage between three people when it was only two. And a lot of your information is coming from one man, and that man is only telling you what it is that he wants you to know. So that's what I see. But, you know, I could be completely wrong, which is why she probably want to be able to be on TV and say her thing and say what she got to say or whatever to, you know, make it make sense for people. I don't know. She hasn't done anything to deserve a spot on the show. She can tell us her side of the story in an IGTV series, not national television. I'm sure even male stands would boycott Love and Marriage Huntsville if she comes on. I can see that happening. But I think that because Mel brought this show to him, I think he has a lot of respect for her to not do her like that. And unless she says yes, I don't see him bringing her on for real. Out of the respect, like, I wouldn't even have this show. I wouldn't even, like, I think he'll probably still be in good graces with OWN, but like, I wouldn't even have this or the money that I'm gaining or whatever it is that I'm gaining off this show had you probably not brought this particular idea to me, and you guys have been so open, transparent, and vulnerable, you know, with your lives in front of the screen. So he probably feels like he owes her a level of respect to, you know, hear her out, see how she feeling. If that's not something she wants to go with, then he's not going to probably compromise that unless she says yes. Yeah, so no one knew of her or her identity until she exposed herself. That's not true, Faith. That's not true for everyone. That may be true for you though, Faith, but that's not true for everybody, because I honestly, I didn't even know who she was until somebody started dropping her photos in places. And I'm like, who is this girl? I think it was like on Facebook groups or something. They started dropping like her face or something like that. Yeah. So that's how I found out. I didn't even hear her mouth or anything. I think her page was private for a minute on like IG, whenever her IG was finally exposed by somebody. Like that's from what I know, from what I saw, my experience, but yours may be different. She had more leverage with Martell until she had the baby. Martell is embarrassed. Martell is embarrassed that he ruined his family for her. I don't know if he's embarrassed no more. I don't know. After he dropped them photos. Nah, you ain't wrong. She ain't got nothing to say that she hasn't already said. Yeah, Faith, that's how it was. Yeah. But isn't this reality? If he is with her in real life, when do we need to see his home and dating life? True, Ventravius, but she also said they are not together. Ariane said that they are not together and that she's dating a few people, as he is too. Now, they probably still kicking it, you know what I'm saying? She still see him, that's the father of her child. They probably still, you know what I'm saying, hang out like that. You feel me? But out of her mouth, they not together. But I mean, if they dating, I guess, even if they aren't dating, I guess, like, with the reality of it, to your point, would be just seeing the dynamics of his co-parenting with her and his co-parenting with Mel. So I mean, yeah, with that, that's an angle. Yes, Sean is. That is true too. I'm good with not dolphin teeth. No more needed. I want to see Marcel's side chick. Now, see, Carmen, you wrong for that. I don't see dolphin teeth to me. You know what I'm saying? Just because I don't like her actions, or I may not agree with how she moved, you know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna say that she's an ugly woman, because she's not. And I mean, if you want to say she dolphin teeth, okay, if she got braces, I don't know if it's gonna look like dolphin teeth much longer. I don't know. But yikes. It was up to Martell. He would definitely bring her on the show to continue to get under Mel's skin. And you know that, LJ, forever. You know that. But speaking of Martell, glad you brought that up. I want to go ahead and play something else for you guys. Regarding Martell, the question was asked about Martell kind of going around answers and not really wanting to answer questions that were asked of him at the reunion. So let me go ahead and just play that for y'all as well. And this is what Carlos had to say regarding that. So get into this.
Now, there were some moments where, like, you were even shocked. You were just like, oh. One of the moments where you asked Martell, like, whether he would be married still, like, and he never answered. Did you expect that, or,
No. I knew that I wanted to get down to the nitty-gritty of the history of he and Melody's marriage, but also the history of his relationship with the other woman, and I knew that he trusted me and felt comfortable telling me things. So when I say to you, I literally allowed myself to be present and allowed myself to feed off of what was given to me from the cast, in this case, Martell. So again, going back to me hosting, I don't think any other host could have extracted that out of him, at least to the point where he was so worried about his truth that instead of lying, he decided to just not answer the question, which honestly, I can appreciate that in a sense. I can appreciate you at least saying, I'm so comfortable answering the question that I don't want to answer it. I prefer that versus like saying a lie for the sake of the lie sounding good. So I did appreciate that. But girl, when I say to you, I had no idea that he was not going to answer the question. And I had no idea that his fellow cast members were going to answer it for him.
Ooh, yeah.
All right, so y'all heard that. Carlos feels like he felt like it was okay. He has respect for Martell not really answering the questions that were asked and allowing other people to ask the questions. I don't know. I would have much rather him have asked. I understand that he's nervous. He's so nervous about and worried about his truth, but it's your truth. You be quick to try and spill male truth or try and get people to see what's going on with her or whatever. So just be honest. Like what's done is done now. So I don't know. I guess Carlos was a bit shocked because he felt like he was the only person that really could pull some things out of him. So I think he probably was expecting Martell to open up about stuff. But I just felt like, I mean, Martell ain't really open up about nothing for real. Like what did Carlos say? He said, I felt like he felt so comfortable answering the question that he was like, he's not gonna answer the question or something. I'm like, what the? Okay, maybe now I'm getting what he's saying. Cause at first I was like, answer what questions? Cause he ain't answered. But I think what he was saying that he was in a space where he's so relaxed with Carlos and probably forgot for a second that we filming or something. I don't know. And then just decided to, nah, girl, I try to make it make sense. It's not. It's not, Carlos. I'm sorry. It's not making sense. It's not making sense for me. I feel like you could have brought the questions back around though. You know, you did an awesome job, not taking that away. Definitely loved you hosting all by yourself. Didn't need any extras. Absolutely loved it the way that it was. I wouldn't really change anything aside from the fact that when you revisited stuff, like when it came to Destiny and you revisited and you was like, oh, wait a minute. He divorced you 3 weeks after you had the baby? Love that because that's a natural reaction and that's exactly how us fans was thinking. But when it came to Martell, you should have came back around to him and asked some questions, okay? It's rough for everybody. So, yeah, he should have answered the questions, but it definitely made it more entertaining and much more messier when the other folks start answering the questions, honey. Yikes. But anyway, maybe the two of them don't want to be married, and Martell is nobody's prize. Marriage isn't everyone's goal. But if they're not together now, why didn't he want to answer? The answer is no. Yikes. Like Bonnie said on her channel, Carlos allowed him to slide. Where did it go? Allowed him to slide, but he kept digging at Mel, like when she wasn't remembering sucking on a little, yeah. And I mean, I felt like he dug in not just Mel, but I feel like he dug into what's her name? Destiny. Right. I feel like he even dug into the situation with Miss Vanessa about going around asking and all that other stuff, you know. I feel like he could have put more energy on Tiffany and made her further explain herself about being released from the Chamber of Commerce, whatever they're saying. And also, I think he could have applied definitely more pressure on Martell. And that's probably why when they asked like who's Carlos' favorite, everybody said Martell. I don't know. That hypothetical questions was unnecessary. He and Ariane are both single and aren't even together now. So no, he wouldn't have married her first. And I feel like he also withheld that question because he didn't want to say something like, I don't think he wanted to embarrass her anymore, or like he did when he said that she was a peasant. You know, I feel like he just didn't want to, you know, say anything else negative to her. I mean, yeah, say anything else negative about her. So he kind of withheld that. But then also I think he found that he probably thought he had a little power in his answer with not answering, because now Mel doesn't know. If the answer would have been no, then maybe Miss A would have felt the way. And if the answer would have been yeah, then Mel could have possibly felt the way. So he'll just say nothing. So that way can't nobody get nothing out of nothing. Just as simple as that. Oh no, you good, Carmen. You're good. Yes, thank you so much, Sam. For everybody that's in the chat, all 500 plus of you guys, please be sure to hit the like button. If you're not already subscribed, please be sure to do so. Thank you guys so much for joining me tonight. Carlos went harder on Melody more than he did on Destiny. And Martell, especially Martell. He was babying Martell a lot. Martell should have got more difficult questions. Simple as that. Okay. Probably because his ass would end up on Oh, okay then. Probably. I mean, maybe. Maybe so. Maybe so. I don't think Martell is Carlos' favorite, but he knows how to keep him on the show. Mm, okay. I got y'all. All right then. Right, Candace. This is Messy Boots, okay? But yeah, so that's all I got, guys. I thank you all so much for hopping on, okay, and joining me. Please be sure to hit the like button, okay? Also be sure to subscribe. I think I said that. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at jamithatsme. Thank you guys again so much for joining me. That's all I got. So I'm about to go ahead and head out. All right. Thank y'all. Bye-bye.